Yes. So basically, if you guys haven't been following the story of the two, I will give you guys a quick recap of the finale. In the SkyMed season 4 finale, Lexi and Steph are finally able to make peace with their complex relationship and commit to each other. Steph returns to the field and the two navigate their personal history and feelings to close out the season. So, more of the story, I have to say they do have a happy ending, and I feel like it was very important for everybody that have been following the story for all the seasons and all these years. Yes, at the beginning when I started watching season 4, I was kind of worried that the instability of their professional lives and also in this case their personal emotions would affect their relationship. But I have to say that one thing, they have navigated their relationship throughout the season very maturely. Obviously they had their differences, obviously they had their moments where they didn't disagree or agree with each other, but just to see them coming together in the season finale and finally, working towards better, working towards, making this relationship work and understanding that, no matter what, they will always be by each other's side and, stick it through thick and thin. So I will be breaking down the season finale. To be honest, if you guys are not watching the show, I will highly recommend watching it. And yes, it is actually really amazing. So yeah, if you guys like Lexi and Steph's relationship, what would you personally rate it from 1 to 10? Me, for them, they are a strong 8.5 out of a 10. That's just my personal rating when it comes to their relationship. So I have done a part 1 review regarding the beginning of season 4. So this one will basically just be a follow-up towards the season finale. So the season finale from episode 6 to 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that's where I left it off at. So this one will be 6 to 8. You can just see that, Steph, she finally is in a process where she's finding, healing. She has decided to sign up to psychology classes, even though she doesn't know if she wants to get a degree at it or, at it. She's just wanted to work more, with psychology because she is on a work leave. She's actually on a work leave because of a burnout. So, this time off is definitely helping her get her mind together and, also focusing her energy on something else besides being a paramedic, and also just having more time to think and process everything that she also has to heal with. So I definitely do agree with the fact that, she was set on leave because she needed this mental break in order to get herself together. Obviously, Lex is all the way there to support her and always making sure she's straight and she doesn't miss anything. On the other hand, we can see that, in this case, Lexi actually ends up losing her father. Her mother ends up calling her and telling her that she doesn't have much time left, that she needs to come see her father. So then we move forward to the next episode. You can see, just Lexi going through the emotions of realizing that her father isn't there anymore. Obviously, she was, occupying her mind so much with work in order to avoid going through the process of grief. But you can see that, in this case, Steph was just there for her and making her understand it's okay for you to take a break. It's okay for you to, just to stop a little bit and, intake everything that you are going through. You lost the most important person in your life. It's not easy. You need to chill. But you can just see Steph was just in a mood that she just wanted to focus on work because she didn't want to accept this new reality that soonly she will have to face when it comes to grief, and not just realizing her father is not there anymore. Her father actually ends up passing away because of her illness. So later on, you can see that she actually ends up, going through this process, especially when she meets this, how can I say, this father who was having a conversation with his daughter in this case, and then she needed to basically take the flight and take him to another place so he can go get treatment. So the flight actually ended up getting into turbulence, but she could successfully land the plane, and later on you can just see her heading back to SkyMed and just anxiously, applying to become a pilot, to become a commercial pilot. You can just see she was just going applying, and then when in this case, Steph walked in, she said, no, I have to apply. I waited too long to make this big move. My father is the reason why I started flying, and now he's not here anymore, and now I feel like I have disappointed him, because if I would have taken this move earlier and not be so afraid. They're not, stopping myself or limiting myself. Probably he would still be here. Probably he would have been with me on my first, ever, commercial flight. But because she wanted, like, her father always wanted her to be airline, in this case, pilot. She was just like, oh, I wanted him, now he's not here, he's not gonna be with me on my first flight. I feel so disappointed, I waited too long, I should have done things differently. She basically was just making this grieving process way more harder on herself, because she felt like she would have made her father even more prouder of her if she would have become an airline pilot. So there was also like a situation that they went through. Obviously, Steph was there, just to hug her and console her and let her know, like, hey, I'm here, you're not alone. Your father's very proud of you. Just because you decided not to go at that time to become a airline pilot, it doesn't mean like you're not doing good for yourself. Look, the amazing things you have been doing here at SkyMed. Your father's proud of yourself, of you. And it's just like she's just going through that guilt, because she felt like she could have done way more than what she did in order to make her father proud. But at the end of the day, she also realized, that, if she keeps, uh, making herself guilty or feeling guilty, that things will not get any better. So after that, you can see, Steph just consoling her and making sure like she's okay and she's not alone. And then we move forward to the season finale. We can just see that so finally deciding that it's time for them to do better. And obviously Steph have decided to go towards and get a degree when it comes to psychology. She wants to use her degree towards, helping paramedics, as a psychologist. And not only that, you can also see that Lexi have finally found, a sense of peace, and obviously she's not 100% healed, but she finally, have decided to go towards and make that application, that she haven't thought about doing, because she felt like she wasn't ready to leave SkyMed, or she wasn't ready to make that big move. So we will have to see if, what's gonna happen, if there will be a next season, if that is actually, there's the move that will probably happen for them, and how that will affect their relationship. So we have to stay tuned to see the play out for that. And you can also see just that final scene of them together on episode 8, where they were just sitting, at the stairs, or with the campfire together, on each other's laps, and just having that conversation. It actually took me back to the very, very beginning when they actually met. It was the same campfire, but now, time later, it is the same campfire, but under different circumstances. It just show how much growth their relationship have been through, and no matter how difficult things get for them, they always find a way to stick by each other's side. They don't give up. They know both of them are going through a lot, but they still find a way to make time for each other and just show emotional, mental, and physical support to each other. And that is so beautiful. Very young love, but also a very mature love. So the writers definitely did good with this one. And yes, we need more storylines like this, on shows, to show more positivity in lesbian relationships. Everything doesn't need to be toxic about cheating and just about intimacy. This one is about emotions, real feelings, emotions, going through like life stuff. And that's the reason why I enjoy their relationship so much. So yes, guys, go watch SkyMed. It's definitely not a disappointment.